Have you ever wondered if mermaids, those elusive aquatic beings of lore, might actually exist? Now this isn't an idle question. For centuries, mermaids have captured the human imagination, surfacing in tales spun by cultures across the globe. In Greek mythology, they were the enchanting sirens, luring sailors to their doom with their irresistible songs. Meanwhile, in Africa, the Mamiwata spirits were depicted as mermaids, revered and feared in equal measure. And let's not forget the Selkies of Celtic folklore, who could shed their seal skins to become beautiful women. Mermaids have also made a splash in pop culture, from Hans Christian Andersen's tragic Little Mermaid to the sassy and independent Ariel of Disney fame. So why this fascination? What is it about these half-human, half-fish creatures that keep us so enthralled? Is there a grain of truth hidden within these tales? Intrigued? Well, you should be, as we dive deep into the world of mermaids. What if mermaids aren't just figments of our imagination, but actually have some basis in reality? These mythical creatures have captivated humanity's imagination for centuries, and theories about their existence abound. Let's dive into some of the most intriguing ones. Firstly, some theorists propose that mermaids might be a species of undiscovered aquatic humanoids. They suggest that these creatures evolved alongside us, but took a different evolutionary path. As we evolved to live on land, they adapted to life under the sea. This theory is bolstered by the aquatic ape hypothesis, which suggests that human evolution included a semi-aquatic stage. Could it be possible that an offshoot of our ancestors remained in the water, developing into the mermaids of legend? Another theory, often considered more plausible, is that mermaid sightings are misinterpretations of known marine animals. The most common culprits are manatees and seals, whose movements and behaviors can appear eerily human-like when observed from afar. In fact, many historical reports of mermaid sightings describe creatures with long hair, a feature associated with these marine animals. From a distance, and perhaps with a dash of wishful thinking, it's easy to see how these animals could be mistaken for the enchanting sirens of the sea. On a more fantastical note, some theories suggest that mermaids are supernatural beings residing not just in our oceans but also in a mystical realm beyond our own. These theories often stem from folklore and mythology, where mermaids are portrayed as magical creatures with the power to enchant, curse, and even grant wishes. Lastly, there are those who believe that mermaids are simply a product of our imagination, born from our innate fascination with the unknown depths of the sea. They argue that these myths and legends are merely a reflection of our desire to understand and personify the mysteries of the ocean. So, could the sirens of the sea be real, or are they just a case of mistaken identity? The truth remains as elusive as these mythical maidens themselves. But one thing's for sure, the Mermaid Enigma continues to captivate us, sparking endless debate and fascination. History is rife with tales of encounters with these mythical creatures. Let's dive into the depths of the past, where the line between reality and myth often grows murky. Our first stop is the year 1493. Christopher Columbus, the intrepid explorer, was sailing near the Dominican Republic. He reported seeing 3 female forms which rose high out of the sea, but were not as beautiful as they are represented. Could these have been mermaids? Columbus himself seemed to think so. This encounter, noted in his ship's log, remains one of the earliest documented sightings by a Western explorer. Fast forward to the 19th century, we land on the rugged shores of Orkney, Scotland. The year is 1890. Residents of the small town of Dearness reported a strange creature on the rocks by the sea. It was described as having a torso of a well-formed woman and a tail of a fish. Locals would watch in both fear and fascination as the creature combed its long, dark hair. This became known as the Dearness mermaid sighting, a story that still sends ripples through the town's folklore. Interestingly, such encounters are not restricted to Western cultures. On the other side of the globe, in Japan, there are tales of the Ningyo, a fish-like creature with a human face that cried like a monkey. Catching one was believed to bring storms and misfortune. Yet, in other stories, consuming Ningyo flesh would grant eternal youth. From the Caribbean seas to the cold shores of Scotland and to the Far East, these historical encounters with mermaids are intriguing, aren't they? Stories passed down through generations, written in ship logs, or etched in local lore, they offer a tantalizing glimpse of a world where the line between human and aquatic life is blurred. These accounts are compelling, aren't they? But are they reliable? As we surface from the depths of history, we're left with more questions than answers. So let's continue our journey, and perhaps we might yet find the truth that lies beneath. Fast forward to the present day, and mermaid sightings continue to make waves. This isn't a tale from antiquity or lore from a sailor's diary. These are stories from the 21st century, recounted by people just like you and me. Let's start with the Mermaids of Kiryat Yam. This small coastal town in Israel has been making headlines for more than a decade, ever since a local resident claimed to have seen a mermaid frolicking in the Mediterranean waves. Not just a fleeting glimpse, mind you, but a creature that revealed its full mermaid form under the setting sun. A bounty of $1 million was even offered by the town's mayor for substantial proof of this aquatic resident. Yet the mermaid remains elusive. Now let's journey to the heart of Africa, to the landlocked nation of Zimbabwe. In 2012, workers at a reservoir reported being driven away by creatures described as mermaids. The reports were so persistent, the work on 2 reservoirs came to a complete halt. Local council members, in a bid to appease the supposed mermaids, performed traditional rites and rituals at the sites. Despite the skepticism from outsiders, those who've experienced it stand by their stories, firm in their belief. These are just 2 examples of modern-day mermaid sightings that have stirred up curiosity and debate. There are many more stories out there, whispered in hushed tones or shared in online forums of people who claim to have encountered these enigmatic beings. Some sightings are accompanied by fuzzy photos or grainy videos, others just by the conviction in the witness's voice. But what do these sightings mean? Are they the product of overactive imaginations, or do they hint at a world beneath the waves that we're yet to fully understand? These recent encounters certainly add fuel to the mermaid mystery. So where does this leave us in our quest for the truth about mermaids? We've traversed the depths of theories, from those that suggest mermaids are evolutionary offshoots of humans to the ones that propose they're simply marine creatures misidentified by weary sailors. We've delved into historical encounters, from Christopher Columbus's fascinating sighting to the mermaid frenzy in early 20th century Japan. We've touched on modern-day sightings too, unearthing tales of mermaid encounters from Zimbabwe to Israel. Yet, the question remains, are mermaids fact or fiction? The answer isn't as clear as we'd like it to be. There's an ongoing debate, with every theory and encounter adding a new layer to this enigma. Some firmly believe in their existence, while others dismiss them as mere figments of our collective fantasy. Whether mermaids are real or not, they certainly hold a captivating place in our collective imagination. If you're as intrigued as we are, do subscribe for more deep dives into mythology and mystery.